I'm Damian Garcia, and I do all the sales and run all the sales and marketing for Union Horse Distilling Company.
I'm Patrick Garcia, Damian's brother, and and I take care of all the I'm the master distiller, and came up with all the recipes, and we do it every day, make it every day.
And we started our company back in 2010. So we established Union Horse, and we're a family-run business. It's like I said, it's Patrick and I, and then I've got another brother, Eric, and then I've got another sister, Mary, or I've got a sister, Mary, that helps out as well. So we started it back in 2010. We're located in Lenexa, Kansas, which is a suburb of Kansas City. So we're on the Kansas side. Kansas City is kind of strapped. We pride ourselves in being Midwest born. So everything that we do is with a Midwest state of mind, from the grains that we pick, the corn, wheat, rye, and malted barley, to the barrels that the whiskey goes into. Obviously we're big. We've got barrels that are coming through from Lebanon, Missouri, independent state company, and we're homegrown here in Kansas City, and we wanted to bring something special to the market, and that's where we established Union Horse back in 2010. So
very nice.
Yeah, and I'm Wilson Torres. I am Damian and Patrick's brand specialist here in Chicago and the state of Illinois. So I've been with them for over 2 years now, spreading the word, spreading the love, and meeting people you guys online, whether it be at tastings, whether it be at events, or whether it be, I don't know, typical sales call or whatnot. So I'm their guy here in Chicago, as you can tell. Pride and soul.
All right, represented.
So you guys were kind enough to send us some amazing bottles. Tell us about your products as well, and tell us what you guys want to start with. What do we want to?
Yeah,
first?
You know what? Let's go with the first kind of the lightest whiskey that we have here. I would say probably the lightest whiskey, in our opinion, would be the Rolling Standard. So the Rolling Standard Midwestern 4-grain is what this is. And so what we have in that, actually a combination of corn, wheat, malted barley. So we've got right around a combination of 45% corn, 25% wheat, 20% malted barley, and 10% rye. So it's kind of a combination. We worked it out to be, what it is. It's a combination of a wheated bourbon and a malt, our single malt whiskey that we produce in-house. So we've taken these two whiskeys, aged separately, and mingled them together. And this is what Rolling Standard Midwestern 4-grain came out to be. So it's right around, we came out with it back in late 2018, and have just garnered a lot of appreciation for the whiskey, for sure. So
hey, really question. Oh, go ahead, Josh.
I was just gonna say, this is such a beautiful whiskey. That's it.
Oh, thank you very much.
Better than what I was
that bottle design is amazing as well. That thing's so cool.
Yeah. So this kind of the logo and everything that goes on with it. The train kind of is symbolic of, Kansas City has a history of the railroad was very prevalent, because we're heart of America, basically. Everything came through KC. Another thing too is that we have a train, and it's freight trains that pass through by our distillery. I mean, literally right next to our distillery, one every hour. And we like to think that those trains, the rumbling of the trains, kind of give a nice, rumbling to our whiskey barrels as well, to kind of get that aging going. So But yeah, so that's what Rolling Standard is. So
That's what I was actually going to ask, is why this label was different than all the other ones have like the horse on it, except for obviously barrel strength for obvious reasons of barrel. But I was wondering how the train came into it. You literally already answered my question before I asked it.
yeah, and Patrick and his counterpart, Travis Vandervet, he's our head distiller. Patrick and Travis came up with, this blend, and on the label you can see down in that little corner, that G series, but it says Distiller Series on there. That's kind of our experimental side of, the whiskey making process. So,
Yeah,
Hey, guys, Damian, what was you said 45% corn, 25% wheat. What can you tell me again?
yeah, it's 45% corn, 25% wheat, 20% malted barley, and 10% rye.
Thank you.
So good.
So go ahead, Pat.
but yeah, the recipes were test recipes back in 2016, 17. So at first we kind of started making we started experimenting with some different grains with like the malt whiskey. On the malt whiskey side, made a couple different recipes of malt whiskey. Then we also have in here is our, if you guys have ever had our long shot white whiskey, that's a wheated bourbon recipe basically. So that's the other part of the Rolling Standard, is that aged long shot. So we were aging long shot, the long shot recipe for a good amount of time, and the malt whiskey had been aging for a good amount of time. So we saw this opportunity to blend the two recipes, and we saw an opportunity to come out with a 4-grain whiskey, and so this was born out of those experiments.
It's really neat, guys. Just to do what Josh said, or echo what Josh said. It's really pleasant, drinks really well. For me, on a 4-grain, I'm not used to malted barley being, I guess, the highest or second highest or third highest grain in the mash bill. Usually it's the least. So it's really a cool touch on letting the barley kind of shine in this, I think.
Thank you.
Yeah, well done on this one.
I love how they layer. I always like, when I'm out in the market doing tastings or whether it be retail or at events, I always like to call it a whiskey gobstopper in a sense. You pop that in your mouth. Usually you get one layer of one flavor, then you get a second, a third, a fourth, and you get to that center. But ultimately, with the Rolling Standard, at the end, it's almost two things. It's almost it all melded really well together after you had it, and then two, it's almost like now I shared this with Josh earlier. It's almost like a really nice gateway for Scotch drinkers on the unpeated side of things. So it's it has so many different directions. And I use those, words just, to play off, obviously, the labeling on the bottle and all those. But it's just, I just love, this is a fun, funky whiskey that really does allow for a lot of different palates to really enjoy fully, personally.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that, because that's exactly what and I said that to the group, that almost got like a hint of peated flavor to it, and like it's almost like a single malt. Like it's not, like, you know what I mean? I understand that it's not, but that was the biggest thing I pulled out. It's almost got like people, like, I'm not a Scotch drinker, but I'm much more rye and bourbon and stuff like that. But this is fantastic. But that's exactly what I got out of this.
Well, thank you.
But Danielle's a Scotch drinker. Oh yeah, she loves her peated.
You got peat. I didn't get peat at all, but I'm like a heavy fan. So to me, that wasn't the, I guess, powerful note. To me, I went more fruity. So I got like strawberries, raspberries, cherries on the nose, and then I think the palate is more like a raspberry tart. Like there's a little bit of bitterness from it, but it's still kind of like buttery, and you feel the grains and all of that as well. And then it kind of ends with like a note of eucalyptus.
Wow. Okay.
For me.
I get that.
It's like a candle that I'm burning. I don't know. It's awesome.
Yeah, totally.
Danielle's Corner is
Love it.
Yeah, I love that.
running. It's rolling.
Yeah,
You
it's
never know
open
what
for
it's gonna
business.
be.
I think for me, the reason I like this one so much is it's something so different. So, people always ask me, how do I drink off my bar? Like, what do you pick? And when I look at my bar, sometimes I want rye, sometimes I want bourbon, and then sometimes I'm like, you know what, I'm kind of sick of both of them. So let me go with something that's going to taste, completely different, and that's what I get. And I certainly don't get peat because I really hate peat. And it
Pete's a
doesn't.
nice guy, man. What you got on Pete?
Beat me to it.
Daniel, I'm with you and Josh. That I don't get hardly any peat. I get that sweetness from the corn, and to me, that wheat just settles it down really well. I mean, the rye. I get a little hint of that rye spice after I swallow it, or after it lingers in my mouth for just a minute. But it's really smooth, and I get that sweetness of the corn, and that's for me, that's the dominant flavor.
Try it in an old fashioned if you guys get a chance.
Oh yeah, it does really well in an old fashioned for sure. And then even any of the classic cocktails, it does really well, and it shines nicely. Especially like one of our favorites at the distillery is our Manhattans. And Manhattans, it really does a good job because that malted barley really kind of shines through pretty nicely, and also that wheat, but I still get a little rye that comes through nicely as well. So.
Oh yeah.
So anyway.
Missing out if you don't call it a roll fashion, though. So,
yeah.
Not on your menu, I give you permission to do that.
That's hey, we'll take it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, hold on.
Josh gets royalties.
I got paid. I'm good.
I'm definitely a fan of this one. I like it a lot. It's definitely super different for me. And if you want to know why I'm drinking out of a wine glass.
I was just about to ask that. I'm like, what are you drinking out of a wine glass?
So I'm at my brother-in-law's house in Austin. He literally has pint glasses and wine glasses. So I'm like, wine glass.
That works.
Hey, whatever works, man.
I would have done the pint glass all the way. Just filled it.
All right. Well, there you go. So
You still got that tulip shape, man. You're good. You're all good.
there you go.
Yeah, this nose reminds me a lot of like oatmeal that has berries in it. So I'm with you, Danielle, on the berry side.
Very cool. Yeah.
There you go, Will. I'm happy to have you aboard.
Thank you. It's nice to be on the team. Thanks for having me.
Be careful what you ask for, Will.
And
That malt in there really does give it kind of a Scotch feel. That's kind of, we really beefed up the malt portion of this so that, you can't get that feeling or that taste of something Scotch-esque. But yeah.
Yeah, it's a light. It's very light. It's not. When I peated, to me is a very bold flavor. A smoky flavor, but I don't get that with this. You're all right. It's a good introduction. If I was going to do an introduction to Scotch, that would be a good way to start. But for me, it's good. So
Thank you.
yeah. I mean, I really liked this one, and I think that what you're going for is for it to be kind of a blend of a bourbon fan and a Scotch person. Then you've done that. You haven't off-put anybody that doesn't like Scotch, which a lot of this group doesn't. So they'd tell you that if you did. So,
She's right.
So I mean, it's really good. You guys did a great job with it.
Thank you.
yeah, I mean, even comparing it to like a single malt or something, that to me, it's again, that sweetness from that corn just really for me shines through, and I get a little bit of that, that Scotchy, palate on your palate, and but yeah, it's really good.
Great. All right.
Candace, where you at? You like single malt?
I'm
Come on.
trying to figure it out still. And it's a really bad thunderstorm, so I'm staying muted unless I feel like I'm about to say something. So, because thunder keeps banging. But now on the nose, I do get fruit, but it's not berry. I get more like a peach type on the nose. And then for the flavor, I get still a little bit of fruitiness, so it's kind of like a peach cobbler, but in that flavor, I'm getting a lot of vanilla. And so when I make peach cobbler, I do put like a teaspoon of vanilla in it. So for me, it's a peach cobbler flavor for me. And then on the end, I do get a little bit of spice. It's not like overbearing or anything. It's just that hint of rice spice. I can see a little bit of malt flavor in it, but it's not where I would ever consider it like a single malt.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm on board with that peach cobbler, but then again, I'm a sweet tooth kind of guy. But stone fruits for sure prevail on my nosing of it, and the malt is prevalent as well. So it's a happy medium for me. My grandmother used to make peach cobblers, but not cobblers, hand pies. In Puerto Rico, we call them empanadas. So they're peach filled with the crumble. But to add a little kick, because she was Creole in a sense, she added cayenne. She sprinkled cayenne pepper just to dash it on top of the actual pie itself. So this reminds me of that so much. It's ridiculous. So I appreciate you bringing that to. Now I'm going to be sad myself, but yeah, I appreciate that.
I would like you to please send some of those in the mail as well.
I was just about to say, Wilson, I just finished dinner, man, and I'm already hungry again.
I know. I was like, that sounds so good. I need some right now.
Wilson's running on fiery Cheetos. Don't talk about dinner, guys.
Man, I just like the way you said it better than my hick voice. You know, I got some bananas. You got bananas. However you said it, man, it sounds so much better than me.
Dirty murder, bro.
I know. I can't help it.
Danielle, on the finish of this thing, I see what you mean. A little bit of eucalyptus. It's kind of like I
agree with her.
I love when you agree with me. This never
like,
happens.
Yeah, it's like the rye spice, right? But it's something more. It's like it blooms or something. I don't know.
Yeah, there's like that little bit of minty oil in your mouth.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like, remember that Vicks that your grandmother or your aunt used to put on you at the end of the day?
What kind of grandmother and aunt do you have?
One that cared for him.
I'm sitting here, I'm like, what kind of grandmother did you have? Danielle sitting here like eating eucalyptus things, like koala bears eat those things or something? Like, what are you getting me?
Yeah, they kind of get high off
It's
those.
essential oil from a tree.
Oils, bro. Get with it, Freddie.
Y'all should just see me trying to remember how to spell eucalyptus.
Like, there's an E in there somewhere.
You see what I mean when we're going back to that whiskey gobstopper analogy that I used earlier.
The Willy Wonka one, yeah.
Yeah, so many different flavors, and then it just comes back at the end. You're just like, holy shit, that's good. Let's do that again.
Yeah, let's do it again. Exactly.
Let's do it again.
You got to peel back all the layers.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's so good. It's such a fun whiskey.
Yeah, man. This is definitely a good sipper. Even during the summertime when it's hot, it's not heavy. It's not too oily or anything of that nature. It's very light and refreshing. I could see put in an old fashioned. I could 100% see that.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
It's a roll fashion. Say it right.
Yeah, that roll fashion.
Roll fashion.
Well, TM. That's what you got to do after every time you say that.
Yeah, roll fashion TM.
Man, I'm excited for what's up next.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna crack open now the bourbon whiskey. Yep, that's it.
I have to admit that's the one I poured the most of, so I was excited about that one.
I like Union Horse Reserve Straight Bourbon. So
Kevin, is your dent bigger than that one? I guess mine's not very big.
I waited till the night, man. I wanted to be surprised because I've had nothing but a good week, and for me to have this big lineup that y'all so graciously sent, I was stupid excited. I got glasses set up perfectly for each one I thought would taste better in each glass. It's just a pretty little setup.
So our Union Horse Reserve Straight Bourbon, it's actually a combination of 80% corn, 20% rye, considered a high rye bourbon. We actually aged this, between 5 and 6 years. New American oak barrel, Missouri oak, and it's just sits at 92 proof. So.
Why'd you guys choose to omit malted barley from the mash bill on this one?
I'll let Patrick answer that.
The process was, we wanted to be a little bit more singular in the flavors that were going into the bourbon. The malted barley, even in a distiller's malt, is still nutty. It gives you that nutty flavor. So. We also we use enzymes instead of the malted barley for the corn and for the rye to break those down, and it's a little bit more. You're able to control it better too with the enzymes, but the process is a lot more controllable. You can get a really good return on the yield also by using the enzymes. But really, to be honest, it was just to be more singular. We want the corn and the rye to be, you know, the two flavors that really shine in this bourbon.
Very cool. I can definitely say I don't know very many, if any other distilleries not only having a 2-grain bourbon that's not including malted barley. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Man, the nose on that one is just fantastic. That sweet smell that you get, I'm like, can't wait to dive into it.
Sweet, delicious.
It's a distance open window to somebody's grandmother's kitchen that she just made.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's just a phenomenal, delicate, but yet decadent bourbon. It's really beautifully done. Really beautiful.
Stone fruit all the way on this one.
Oh yeah.
Did we say last time stone fruit was like the safe word?
Stone fruit.
Yeah. I can just say that. It doesn't have to mean anything. I can just throw that out there.
Sorry, secret's out of the bag.
I could be smelling lavender, and it smells like stone fruit. You guys know what I mean.
I'm gonna be asleep tonight, and I'm gonna be screaming stone fruit. My wife's like, "What's wrong with you?"
It's got a great mouthfeel, though.
Cinnamon on this thing.
Yeah. I get like caramel candies on the nose, so I totally was with you on that whole like grandma thing, because I think about, you know, like the grandma that pulls out the caramel candies out of your pocketbook.
Yeah. The rocks candies that she's had them in her purse so long, the actual plastic melted.
Yeah.
That's right.
And shit. Yeah, it's.
Does anybody else taste like Cherry Garcia ice cream though? Like a little bit
You're
of
just
dark
saying that because that's their
chocolate?
last name.
I really want to.
No! Wait, I totally didn't even go there.
We love that reference of Cherry Garcia. So check out the picture behind us here.
Oh, that's cool.
That's awesome. I totally did not even think about that.
Brownie points. Brownie points.
You're welcome for the alley or for the slam dunk there, Danielle.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the assist there, Joe. No, but seriously, like flecks of like dark chocolate in it with some vanilla bean and not like fake vanilla, like real vanilla, and then the cherries and all that. And anybody else?
I get like I definitely get fruit
I
for
can
sure.
see that though. I literally can. Yeah.
I feel like there's a little cinnamon somehow in there too, but it's probably just me. I don't know.
Yeah, like
the wine glass effect.
It probably is, but definitely on the tip of my tongue, there's definitely a little bit of, for me, cinnamon. I don't know, cinnamon.
Actually, no, it's funny you said it, Dave, because like you ever chew big red gum long enough that like it's just to the end, and it's like very subtle on the finish. You can still taste it a little bit, but it's not quite a bite. That's what the finish tastes like to me on this. It's like you just get a little bit of big red gum on the end.
I feel like this is like I accidentally dropped a freaking cinnamon shaker out of the thing and I inhaled the powder. That's what it's like.
How many times has that happened to you?
Did the cinnamon challenge right there.
A couple times, you know?
Accidentally dropped this cinnamon shaker.
Is after drinking all that Union Horse.
Yeah.
I do get a bunch of chocolate.
Dave's a professional juggler, but instead of juggling balls, he juggles cinnamon jars.
Like
this one's a little more savory, like almost like a salted caramel corn. Danielle, I get the cherries at the finish totally. I don't really get it like right. I don't get it initially, but it goes from like a salted caramel corn to just cherry, like a cherry syrup, like the brandied cherry syrup. You know, like you get a little on your tongue. Like that's what I get off of this, but it is really savory to me for some reason.
Yes, I agree with you, Mikey.
I agree with that as well, Mikey. Yeah.
It made me think of Dr. Pepper, like cherry vanilla Dr. Pepper.
I totally see that.
I can see that.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, that's
from
spot
Dr.
on.
Pepper,
That's absolutely spot on.
Bring that.
Dave, I actually
with
do
you
get
on that,
skipped on this too. I was giving you a hard time, but I'm with you.
Yeah.
Like I would drink this with a steak, like 100%, because it's not super sweet, but it's sweet enough. But it would pair really nice with a nice buttery, salty steak dinner.
I can see that, Mickey.
Oh, yeah.
I want to come to your house for a buttery, salty steak dinner and Thanksgiving.
With
descriptive.
With an espresso bean rub on it too. So.
Yes.
Guys, you got to stop. I just ate.
Hey, has anybody
Yeah,
ever
but by
had
the time
Buffalo Rock before?
What?
What?
Have you ever had Buffalo Rock Cola before? It's kind of like a spicy cola. It's in the South. No, like in Alabama. No. Okay.
bro, I ain't never seen that.
Yeah, bro.
I'm
Don't
looking
say
for it now.
Well, it's in Alabama. Anyways,
What you talking
this kind of reminds me of a Buffalo Rock a little bit. Try it sometime if you find it. It's like a spicy cola.
Okay.
Spicy cola does
I get
not
the
sound
spicy
super
cola. I'm
appealing.
with you on that.
Yeah, it sounds bad.
Well, I could be wrong.
I think they make one.
I mean, in terms of drinking that.
Y'all just so made Joe feel bad.
Wouldn't be the first time. I'll go in my corner and cry now.
Damian, Patrick, I'm definitely get. I'll be honest with you, the Dr. Pepper thing, I'm there, but the Big Red Gum just nailed it for me. That's for me. It's like exactly what it tastes like.
Yeah.
It's funny. I think the high rye content really does allow you to feel that. Instead of Big Red, I'm getting that. Oh, remember when, I don't know if you guys ever collected baseball cards when you were a kid, that rock hard
Yeah.
piece of gum.
Like break your teeth as you bite
Yeah,
into it. I
it
know
was
exactly
so
what
good
you're
for the
talking
first
about.
3 seconds, and then it dissipated on your tongue. And you hurt and die. But aside from that, that's the gum that I get on it because of the high rye content on it. But sorry, Patrick, you were going to say something, buddy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the high rye content definitely brings out that cinnamon. I get that cinnamon from it too, especially smelling it in the empty glass. The leftover smell that you smell sometimes. But yeah, I'm getting all those flavors.
Hey guys, I'm gonna step away from like flavors and all that kind of stuff. I'm just kind of curious about yourselves. And did one of you just decide one day, hey man, I can make some really good alcohol, and then the other said, well, I can really sell it. So let's do something.
The alcohol brothers.
Yeah, my brother Patrick here. I mean, he was in he worked at a brewery for a long period of time and stuff. So I'll let him go.
Yeah, we back in college worked at a brewery and just learned all about making beer, and then also just found a passion for drinking beer, especially good craft beer. But then I went on to I graduated from college, left the brewery, went into banking and investments, and during the investment period of like 07, 08, times like that, I started drinking a lot more whiskey. So the market wasn't doing very good. So I got really into whiskey, but I developed a taste for whiskeys. Bourbon was my favorite for many years. And then I started getting into Scotch, started getting into like gin, I started getting into vodka. So I started getting in, I got into moved away from beer, appreciating distilled spirits more. So
we kind of going back to that. I mean, that's kind of where the idea kind of came from. I mean, Patrick and I started kind of talking about, doing something, starting a business, and he, had that passion for brewing beer, and when you make whiskey, it's not too far off from making beer, so
it's actually easier.
It is. And so, but at the same time, you're making a beer, but you're, using different grains, you're putting it into a barrel, letting it age for a period of time. And, we started to kind of do the background work back in 08, 09. And, through those two years, traveled and visited a bunch of craft distilleries all across the country. Patrick started to, kind of get the ball rolling by, getting us all involved, and we kind of came up with Union Horse Distilling Company. And, we've actually found Dave Pickrell helped us, kind of get our distillery started back when he had started his, his consulting agency, back in the day. And Dave became a big, teacher for us, and here we are today. So
there's nothing like the financial industry to make you enjoy good whiskey, because I just left a 10-year run with the financial industry. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah, you know how it feels, don't you?
Yeah, I'm glad I got whiskey in my glass.
Right.
Hey, so going back to your comment there, Patrick, about how you used to be a brewer and everything and work in those industries. do you guys have any plans for like a stout finished rye or bourbon, or like something funky like a gin finished bourbon or anything like that? Or
Yeah, we've kind of been talking to some of the we've got some local breweries. I mean, we have more breweries here in KC than we have, craft distilleries, of course. But folks, that we want to partner with, and because they use some of our barrels to age their beers and stuff, and that's kind of what we're kind of looking at, is trying some maybe stout finish, trying some some unique stuff, but on a limited basis for sure.
Very cool. Well, if you need help, beta sampling, tasting those, I mean, I will sacrifice my palate for you guys. I promise.
Sure. Oh yeah.
We love to jump on that type of grenade for people. So
we'll definitely keep you in mind when those come back out. Definitely.
That sounds awesome.
We're all about experimenting. We've got some experiments going on right now that with different types of barrels, some different grains. Obviously we have the malt whiskey that goes into the Rolling Standard that we've been trying to just build up good supplies of different things before we can come out with it. But it takes a long time for it to even come to fruition because of the aging process. So you don't really know if it's going to be any good until a year or two down the road after you start a recipe. So hopefully next year you'll see a few more products on the shelves.
Nice. How many barrels do you guys have resting? Just curious.
Well over 1,000 barrels on site. So we have mostly bourbon barrels we have rye as second, and then we have we're trying to build up the other recipes kind
of behind that. So.
Yeah, behind that. So but yeah, we also have been eyeing another place to start aging more barrels. So we're running out of space in our current facility, and it's a 26,000 square foot building, and we just got another new rack last month. That'll tide us over for another year. But after that, we're looking at creating a new rack house just down the road.
That's awesome.
Good problem to have.
Good. Yeah.
I mean, that's the beauty of being a craft distiller, or artisanal distiller, just depending on, what side of the tracks you like as far as using the term craft and whatnot. But I think that's what really allows for the Garcias to really, as he mentioned, experiment. I mean, because the guys that we're all fans of already, the guys who have a 200-year, head start on us, they're stuck to one thing. And that allows us to, to sit in the shade and really chill and really do things that are different and put forth as something that as you guys already started to experience with us tonight, something different. As you guys mentioned earlier, 2-grain bourbon, not many people are doing 2-grain bourbons. And if they are, is it really at the quality of ours?
Yeah.
Not trying to, I'm not picking fights or anything, but that's what it comes down to. We focus on, when you distill, alcohol is a guarantee.
Yeah.
So I like to feel that, I feel that we really focus on the flavors, and we really let the grain and the story really flow through and really talk to you guys, and you guys then talk to others, and so on and so forth. So it's just a continuous, journey, not just from the moment we make it put it in the bottle and it gets onto the shelf, and then you pick it up and you take it home. It continues on from there, so that's what's so great about being in the position that the Garcias are in, and me being able to help with that, because it's just, it's a different story, not a different story every day, but it's a story you get to tell every day to different people, and I think, with the 2 that we've already tried, I mean, the last 2, forget about it,
I know, right?
Yeah.
And Wilson, where like as far as distribution goes, where are you located at and things of that nature?
So
as mentioned, I cover Illinois, primarily the Chicagoland area, which obviously, but we do have great, business throughout the whole state. I'll let Damian talk more about our distribution outreach.
Yeah. So like Wilson said, of course, Illinois, is a big important part of our distribution. arm, and we've got also Kansas and Missouri. Of course, like I said earlier, we straddle, Kansas City straddles both Kansas and Missouri. We're also in Nebraska. We're in Oklahoma. We are in Georgia. We're in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, California. So those are our 10 states that we're in. Did I miss one?
Nope, you got them.
Got them? Okay. We're actually looking at opening up another state before the end of the year as well. So that we're talking to somebody right now, and hopefully we'll, be able to get the ball rolling here pretty shortly. So
there's a few more states. If you just want to send it our way, we'd be happy to kind of help distribute a little bit.
And you know what? That's the thing. We kind of like, that's the thing that we'd love to hear that. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Yeah,
it's one of those things where, like we talked about, we're, like what Wilson delved into, being a craft distillery, yeah, we started 10 years ago, but we really haven't started to, really, spread our wings yet, because of the fact that, we started 2010, but we didn't start distilling until 2011, but, once you, get enough capacity, to be able to stretch your, like I said, stretch your legs, spread your arms to other states, that we want to be able to supply those people. We don't want to get there and be like, well, guys, we're running low on this bourbon, or we're running low on this rye, or, we're going to have to, we don't want to be the distillery that takes shortcuts. We want to keep that, that flavor, within the whiskey, that's that everybody loves. And, not, we don't want to grow like a weed. We want to grow, and blossom, gradually. So
what about price?
Medium wise, I mean, at least here in Chicago, our bourbon, I love our 4-grain. Our rolling standard is something, I love it as not only as a whiskey, but I feel it's a tool, in a sense, to breaking into those hard to get places here in Chicago, because not in a snobbish manner, but it's just so competitive here, as Damian mentioned. And for a $40 bottle of blended whiskey, I think that's phenomenal to start off with. And then our bourbon is 45 here on average. The straight rye and the barrel strength rye, as we get into those 50 to 60 up to $70. But that's here in Chicago. As Damian can speak around a median price point.
Pretty much. I mean, and that's kind of the, that's where we see the pricing, what Wilson just said, that basically that's kind of where we're sitting in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, in the Georgia market. In the Midwest, we're probably sitting right around like in $5 cheaper. Yeah, about $5 to $7 cheaper than what Wilson stated, all across the board as far as our whiskeys go. So.
Well, I've tasted many $40 bottles that taste nowhere near as good as this.
That's a phenomenal value for this.
It is very good value.
And that's the one thing that's the one thing, I mean, like, that's what we get asked that question, like we didn't want to, we don't want to be too expensive to where folks, go, well, I've heard good things, but you know what, I'm going to go back to my go-to, or I'm going to go back to, what I'm used to. We want people to take a step into, our whiskeys, and, for them to be able to take a step into our whiskeys, we want to price it, accordingly,
Was your focus in sales to hit liquor stores, or was it bars and restaurants, or was it a combination?
It was.
And if so, like, what is the current state of affairs, done for the marketing and things like that?
Oh gosh, it's been when we first came out to the market back in like I said, 2011 is when we started distilling. We did come out with our whiskeys in 2013. At that particular point in time, bars and restaurants are really, we had the establishment. We already had established our retail segment, our retail with our vodka and our white whiskey, and then we went to market with our bourbon and rye. and of course we got to the retail side, but bars and restaurants are really where we wanted to get, where we wanted to hone in on. As the years have kind of gone by, it's always been a combination of both, but now kind of like with, you know, the current climate that we're in, retail has really, you know, of course has, you know, overridden all of but the bars and restaurant business that we're currently in right now. So, you know, bars and restaurants are, you know, some of them are opening, some of them are not opening, some of them are opening with restrictions, all that type of stuff. You've got a lot of cocktails to go. You've got, you know, you've got limited, you know, you have limited venuing. You've got limited, you know, you just got, everything's limited on the shelf there now. So we've kind of really honed in on the retail side big time. So.
Well, send it to South Carolina because we open for everything.
Where you at?
Theaters, restaurants, everything just opened up.
Oh, really? Where are you at? Where are you?
South Carolina.
South
Oh,
Carolina.
really?
Gotcha.
Right, you are. What is? What was it? Your town again? I'm sorry, Kevin.
South Carolina.
Yeah, South Carolina. Where is South Carolina? I think you shared.
And they called it Dirty Myrtle, but I'm on the outside of Myrtle Beach.
It's still dirty.
Whatever.
I go to Charleston 2 to 3 times a year when possible. Before, well, the last time I went to Charleston, shit, it was a long weekend, but it was September. I took a long weekend to go, but aside from that, like over a Labor Day weekend or something, like I went to Charleston last year. I love Charleston, love Low Country.
So you get my cell phone number, so you just need to message me.
Love it, you know.
Charleston's fabulous, man.
I just made, you know, just to add on to piggyback, what Damian was just talking about the coronavirus, the current state of situation. It's tough to do business, at least here in Chicago, because I said things are open. We were opening, and then we took a step back because the mayor was like, I see too much people being a little too cavalier with the, you know, the restrictions. Anyways, point is this: you can look at it as everyone's going to go buy that, grab that handle of this and that and that and this, or go to your old, you know, to the $25 bottles, the $30 bottles. But what we're missing out on is those people who have an expendable income that are not going out as much, that are not spending as much. So when they do go to their local liquor stores, wherever that may be, they got a little extra cash. Problem is, we're not there to taste them out. Liquid to lips is huge for us as craft distillers, you know, or artisanal distillers. So it's tough. But you know, if that's why you guys are so important to us. You know, you guys put the word out there. You guys do your posts. You guys share the word. You know, hopefully the bottles that Damian and Patrick sent you guys aren't just self-indulgent. Where you guys
nope, unofficially I have samples going out this week.
There you go. And that's what we're talking about. That's why, you know, the current situation, it may be what it is, but you guys are a lifeline, literally. I mean, you know, regardless whether we do business in bars and restaurants and in retailers, you guys are a continuation of that, a long branch, if you will, you know. So, you know, we appreciate that, you know, but you guys are keeping us afloat. Individuals such as yourselves are keeping us afloat.
Yes, thank you guys.
Really appreciate it, guys.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you. I know I made a believer out of a couple on the Cask strength rye, so
all right.
Hopefully some more people will learn about it through this.
Get into that.
Well, speaking of the ryes,
is it rye time?
Let's get to it.
Rye time.
Rye time.
Oh yeah.
Hey, why y'all trying the rise, guys? I'll be honest with you. You know, I don't remember anyone ever sending us for. When I got the mail, I was like, "This box is heavy," and I was stupid excited.
I'm like 15 pounds.
Yeah, I was like, I told my neighbor, I said, "You gotta come see this." Like, you won't believe what I got in the mail.
Well, yeah, that's what we wanted to share, because, you know, the whole experience is not only, you know, the juice that's inside the bottle, but it's the packaging as well. So.
I'm glad we were able to share.
Yeah, thank you for your generosity, guys. We appreciate that.
9 people, 4 bottles each. I mean, you guys. That's,
it's crazy.
It's insane.
Cheers. Yeah.
Cheers.
So, and I preface this by saying this rye is what got me on ryes to begin with. Before I ever had the Garcia's rye, I was not a fan of rye till I had the Garcia's rye. This rye opened the doors for a lot of cool things.
Wilson,
So wait,
what
did
glass is
we
that?
go to the barrel strength, or are we doing the
Doing
other?
the straight rye.
Sorry. We're
Okay,
gonna
all
go,
right.
so we're gonna go to first off the Reunion Straight Rye Whiskey. Just the
Good, I poured the right one.
Frank, yeah, we'll save that for the end. So
Oh darn! I need to chug this and pour it. This
so this is this mash bill is a 100% rye mash bill. So again, like Patrick was talking about earlier about the enzymes, we focusing on the single grain. This is a single grain itself, of course. So it's aged 5+ years, going on to pretty much 6 years now on this rye. So again, we use the new Missouri American oak for it. It's just we like to feel like it's a different rye from anything else that's out in the marketplace right now. So
The mint and vanilla
really
on
subtle.
this is so well balanced. Like it's so good. Like I love this.
thank you.
Mikey's corner is up.
And trust me, that's a compliment.
rye is my love language. Just so you know.
He's the rye evangelist.
All right.
Awesome.
We're always nervous.
Manager, ride for president this year.
There you go. This has a great
We're always-
mouthfeel too, by the way, guys. For not having like any corn or any barley in it. I mean, just it's really nice to me.
It's a straight shooter. I mean, it's a, it's like,
Really
straight ahead,
singular.
single.
Singular grain. It gives that singular grain gives off so many different flavors that you don't need anything else really messing up the what's going on here.
Yeah.
The rye has its own sweetness a little bit, it really has that cinnamon, that spice. When it's milling in, it really smells wonderful. You guys have to come to the distillery once all this is over, or once you guys are able to travel. You got to smell the rye as it's milling fresh. We mill all our own grains fresh for every mash, just the smells are amazing. It's basically, everything that you're getting in this glass, you're smelling it as it's being milled.
Yeah.
So
You'll have to post a schedule online somewhere to let us know what day is Rye Day and what day is Bourbon Day, because that'll matter.
okay.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I'll make a special rye just for you when you come in.
Oh man,
So,
You're so in trouble.
I just
forget
heard-
the vaccine. I'll be right there.
I just heard barrel pick is what I just heard.
Rye whiskey
You're
at
also-
sour strength is a vaccine though, so it's all good.
This is
Yeah,
this is something this is a breath of fresh air if you really take it in properly, and you do it how and then you take a swig and you take it, you let it wash, blow it out, and you do it again. This is a fresh breath of air. This is like fabulous. You got all the fresh greenery, the mints, and then the lusciousness of the vanillas underneath. It's ridiculously delicious. Ridiculous.
This is the reason why I got into rye. No joke. It really is. When you have one that tastes like this, it's fantastic. And it's so smooth, and the rye spice is not too punch of a flavor. It's smooth all the way through.
Wonderful. So
Good.
wonderful.
Balance.
So I do have a question. I have a question about that. So it's a much easier balanced rye than what I would expect from 100% rye mash bill. Is it the enzymes that you use that kind of balances or mellows it out a little bit?
We have a certain process that we have to follow with the rye. Rye can start gelling up on you, can start gelatinizing on you at a high temperature. So we definitely have to mill cooler temperature. We use enzymes up front to help with making sure that the starch is all turn into sugar, and so basically rye has some ingredients in it that make it want to make it hard to convert those starches into sugar. So, we got to really break it down and use enough enzymes. I don't think we, from recipe to recipe, we're not using, a different amount of, enzymes than we normally what we would use on other recipes. But, it's just, we do it the right way. I think we figured out the right way to do it, not overcooking it, not cooking it at too high of a temperature, making sure that, we're handling it delicately. And, but yeah, like I said, it's a difficult grain to work with in the first place, but I think we have really learned how to, manage it and learn how to, get the best conversion of starch to sugar with it.
I can say more than think. Like you guys have definitely landed. Like you've stuck the landing on this one. This is great stuff.
Thank you.
And you know what? That's the thing I think too. I mean, when he was talking to it, I mean, basically it is the selection process of what we put into a batch, whiskey, the selection of the different selection of the barrels, as you all know, different parts of your warehouse are going to get the cooler temperatures, the warmer temperatures. It's really kind of finding a good balance between those barrels and creating a good batch barrels we select, to go into what's going in the bottle. So
definitely.
So rookie, I'm the rookie in the group. I'm curious to see what you think about this rye, because this is how I would introduce rye to people, because this is fantastic. I'm a very big compliment, especially if Mr. Pinstripe says it's good. It's good.
Yeah, I agree. If Mr. Pinstripe says so, and this is something that I always lead with. And we've got another one to go, but this is one that I'll go head to head with anybody. Yeah. I'll go head to head with the Kentucky ryes, with all due respect to them. I'll go head to head with anybody with just this rye in itself. I will go head to head. I've done fights here in Chicago. I've done them in home. I've done them, online. But I will go up against anybody with this rye.
I know you guys won't throw shade, but I'll do it for you.
Yeah.
This is better than the Elijah Craig rye.
Oh, absolutely.
Boom. By far, this is a way better rye whiskey. Way better.
Way better.
I mean, come on.
Candace,
for the record, I like the Elijah Craig rye, but this is like different level kind of stuff.
Awesome. That's great.
The mouthfeel is awesome on this one.
Thank you.
That makes me feel good. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Candace, Danielle, and Will, what you guys think, man?
The nose on this, it's a super pleasant rye whiskey all the way around. You said this retails for like 50?
Yeah.
On median.
Okay. Gotcha. Either way, that's a great value for what it is. And it is hard to come by, especially with craft distillers, the kind of age statements you guys are putting out on your stuff too, paired with that very approachable price of, $50-$60 for a 5 to 6 year old rye that tastes like this. And to Mikey's point, 100% mash bill that's this smooth. It's just phenomenal. And I sat here and I've gone to the nose like 10 or 15 times, and each time it seems to be bringing out something new. First time around, it was green apple. Then I got caramel. Then I got like really bitter dark chocolate a little bit. And yeah, so I'm super, super pleasantly surprised with this one for sure.
Thanks. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I agree with them, a rye rookie.
Go ahead, Candace.
No, you can go. Or should
She
we
doesn't want to
the
follow
best
after
for last?
Danielle's corner. She doesn't want to follow. Like, I get it.
I know, yeah.
You go first, Candace.
Go, Candace.
For me, I haven't had a ton of ryes, but this is a lot smoother than most of them that I've had. I wouldn't call it like easy to drink, but for a rye, it is easy to drink compared to those that I've had. It's not super hot like bee stings. I don't get the bee stings for this rye like I have in the past for others. I get a lot of vanilla notes, which I like, and it's a leather, but it's a pleasant leather. It's not like a crusty leather. It's like a smooth.
Well,
There are two types of
crusty
leather.
It's not an old boot.
This my dog can tell you all kinds of the type of leather.
Let me explain myself.
like the
Like-
cobblers and all that.
Well, yeah, but I look at it from the leather perspective as you have smooth leather when you ride a saddle, or you have really like hard, crusty leather that needs saddle soak. And this is like a smooth leather finish for me. It's not something that, just not attractive. It's a good finish for me.
I'll
If
take it.
you can think of
Good to hear.
of good leather.
Good leather. I love it.
Good leather.
Yeah, y'all got it. She's probably only had like 3 ryes her whole life. She's the rookie of the group, so that's why it's always fun to hear her opinion. And then Danielle comes with the apple pies and the Fruit Loops and everything else. So,
Don't forget the unicorns.
yeah.
I have got to find a whiskey that gives off a crusty leather note. Like, I have to find one somewhere. I need that in my life.
I want to know what that tastes like.
Yeah, when I hear crusty leather, I think of like some nasty ass like frat house couch that's like.
Oh,
well, no, I meant like just old and cracked.
What frat house couch are you sleeping on, Dave?
That sounded like.
Like a leather jacket in a Los Angeles thrift store. It just ooh.
no.
So if anybody watches this, just so you know, we'll go back to Mr. Pinstripe. It's better than Elijah Craig.
You gotta go back to that. Okay.
I'm waiting for someone to toss out the note of pleather next.
Leather, yeah. That's what
Actually, Danielle's
leather, right?
she's probably going to say that.
Stop it, Joshua.
There's your
All right, Danielle, hit us up. There you go.
There it is,
Lord.
saddle soap.
No, mine was weird. Crusty leather took the cake for this one as far as
Yeah,
unicorns go.
That probably took the cake.
But it wasn't crusty. It wasn't. Like, it was good. It was smooth.
Good leather.
It was a good leather, not a crusty leather.
What do you think, Lo?
No, I love this one. I think on the nose I got, okay, so initially I said spicy plum, which sounds super weird, but like all the baking spices on a plum is what it made me think of. Yeah, but then like when I drank it, it was more like a little bit of lemon peel and then specifically Honey Crisp apple cider. Like real Honey Crisp apple cider, not like out of this fake shit where you like buy that for like $2. But like
the
you
crusty
can taste
stuff.
the Honey Crisp, the cinnamon, like you get the whole experience there of fall. To me, that's what this one was.
I get it.
I agree.
Perfect for fall.
I just took a sip and it was like fall in a glass right now.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I have one thing to
Agreed.
say about this. If this is the only rye that I could have for the rest of my life, I would not be upset.
Not at all.
Of course, it got blacked out in your video, so we don't know what you're holding. But
Hey, Josh, this is your rye, Josh. Is this your rye?
I know I had trouble with it earlier too.
Damn back.
Put your hands like this.
censored. You're being censored, dude.
Ridiculous. It does look like you got something really nasty on behind there.
Rye.
I
You know,
love it.
Wilson.
All right, do you
Wilson-
hear that, Mr. Garcia? This is the rye or die for Josh right here, man.
Rye or die.
There you go.
Well,
You know, got,
Delicious.
so if you like this one, if you like this rye, you got to try this next one then. So
Oh,
Right. So
some of us already have.
Oh yeah, this was
Oh, some of us have.
I've sent some of this out though. I've sent
we're
about 2 or 3
going to
samples
the
out.
barrel strength version. So this
Color on this thing is ridiculous.
Unbelievable.
ridiculous.
How red that is.
It's so beautiful. So beautiful. It looks beautiful. It smells beautiful. It tastes beautiful. It's amazing.
Hey, there we go.
Are you talking about your wife, or are you talking about the bourbon?
Can we talk about how beautiful this is?
Mikey,
The reddest whiskey I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, no doubt.
Mikey, I saw your review that you did. That was pretty rad on the.
Dude, like
Thank you.
I'm just gonna say that it's it's confusing because the age statement on the back says aged at least 18 months.
Yes.
And I know damn well how age statements work. And there is no way that this is majority 18 months old. So I'd love to hear a little bit more about what's inside of this bad boy.
There you go, Chief.
So it's kind of it's gotten up to where it's at like the 4-5 year mark on this particular whiskey. See, we had, we were working with the barrel size, for the original version when this came out. We were working with some smaller barrels in this particular whiskey. So that's why it's got the 18 months on there.
We really do need to update it.
We need to get it updated. So hopefully we'll get it updated here pretty soon. But you know how that all goes with like TTB and all that stuff. And, we just kind of have to get it timed perfectly for us to be able to slap the new label on without any age statement on the back, and be able to get it out so where we're not, running any issues in some of the states that we're in. So
yeah, you have to use the lowest aged barrel, and back then it was 18 months.
Yeah, so we just haven't updated it yet.
It's been multiple batches now that we've been kind of, over 3 to 4 years. There's like 4 or 5 years is now what it should be. So
you can tell, like you can definitely tell just on the taste. There's no mistaking that this is way over that. There's no way that you put out an 18-month-old rye whiskey, even at barrel strength, that would taste like this. There's no way.
Yeah.
So you guys, what would that be, Damian and Patrick? Would that, since it's just a matter of like getting it done and all that. What would that statement be today?
So if we were going to come out with it today, it would be Reunion straight rye whiskey barrel strength. So, and then you obviously wouldn't have any age statement on the back. Yeah, that's pretty much what it would be. The other thing too is just like we had talked about just previously. It's just a matter of like getting it timed to where we can get it out, that we're not pulling it from the market for a little while just to be able to like pretty much rebrand it. That's pretty much what we're going to be doing, because if we do make the change, it has to go through TTB, and then with that being said, all the different states that we're in, it'll have to be approved in all the states we're in and stuff, and just a matter of getting it done. So
and it's also we also have a certain amount of labels too we got to use.
Yeah, that shit's expensive, Brad.
Hey, micro distilleries, man. You gotta like use what you got, right?
Yeah.
They hand label everything. Everything's literally hand done. We have we have an uttering bottling system, so we don't have a beautiful line that a lot of guys have. We have we have the utter, system, and then that doesn't look good from here. Anyways, you have the gutter line, and then then you have the next station is the labeling, the wiping down the labeling. So I mean, literally, it's.
And then you got in Wilson. You got to remember this guy next to me has to sign every single bottle.
And he has a sign.
Oh dang! Really?
Every bottle. No.
So, and by the way, that is like the coolest thing about the bottle. It's so it's so attention to detail.
Yeah,
it's awesome. Like it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So we'll come and smell the grains, then we'll help you bottle that day. So
and then we'll do. Our rye barrel.
I mean, I have a low bottle, but you can't see it properly. But yeah, man, Patrick loves his Sharpies, bro.
Oh yeah, we go through plenty of them.
I bet.
So
start crossing off the 18-month mark, just like it's not 18 months.
I know. We
put an X out on it.
I really truly wish we could. I wish we could just mark it on the back, and just kind of go from there. But we kind of want to represent it, the way it should be. I mean, to kind of just bring out that Reunion straight rye whiskey barrel strength, or whether we keep it a barrel strength, maybe we call it cask strength. I don't know. So, but yeah, that would be great if we could do that.
I don't care what you guys call it. This is some of the best whiskey I've ever had. Like in all sincerity, though, like having this. And I even told the group earlier on the chat, I was like, guys, I got to pop off at 9:30. I got to be up at 4:30. But this, I wanted to stick around and just hear a little bit about it. I am going to go in a few minutes here. But, dude, this is just amazing. I get like caramel apple, like, like the baked caramel apples that you have with some cinnamon spice on it. I get freaking cotton candy on the palate, man. Like it is just so incredible, man. Like, this is some of the best cask strength I've ever had. It's easy to drink, even though it's 112 proof. I mean, like, literally, my brother's coming up here next month, and he's newer into whiskey and stuff. And literally, the first two things I'm going to sit him down with are both your rye whiskeys. I'll start them off with your straight rye, and then work them up to the barrel. Like, it's like, that's how impressed I am with it. That's what I'm going to start them with.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, so good, man. So freaking good. Especially when this one got completely smashed to bits by FedEx, and he sent another one. Can't thank you enough for that one, because it was.
Welcome. You're welcome.
Get it.
That damn FedEx.
I know, right? But it was worth it. At least it wasn't like, oh, that wasn't my favorite. I'd be like, all right, so I'm glad it was worth the effort.
Oh, for sure. Definitely.
Yeah, but guys, no, seriously, like, outstanding job. Like, don't change a thing on this bottle other than the back label. Other than that, don't change anything.
Okay. We won't.
And we can
just
tell
use your
everyone,
Sharpie. Don't even change that. Just use a Sharpie.
Okay.
Save the overhead.
everyone that you need to use the label then to.
And that's what I love about our because you can libraries find them. You know what I dig?
There you go.
I mean,
Except for the
have,
ones
Here.
yeah, we don't have Mikey's bar. You know what I'm saying? None of us have.
Right.
So, you can stack them up close.
Yep.
There you go.
That'll
We
work.
got
the rolling standard doesn't.
You don't even need a Dolby decimal system in order.
There you go.
I do have two different bars in my house. One for you guys and one for me. This is staying for me. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm like, I'm gonna work you up on this one over here, but you're not getting this one. That one's for me.
I love it.
That's fantastic, man. It really is. The proof on everything, it's wonderful.
Perfectly done.
Yes, it's gorgeous.
Again, like your standard straight rye whiskey, I find that the nose and palate are ever changing on me. And then the longer I let the finish sit there, I get new notes as well. But I'm getting like lots of caramel spice, wood chips, pepper on the nose, and then the palate goes into almost like herbal, like some tea, like herbal tea. So I get a lot of like spicy herbal notes on that.
Nice.
Fresh baked bread, and then I let it sit there for a second. I didn't drink anything, and I got lemon on the finish. And to have such a diverse rye whiskey, I mean, your straight rye whiskey is great, but then the barrel strength, it just takes it to another level.
Yeah. And to think they're one and the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Will. That was spot on with that tea. Yeah, that's a good one. It really is.
Like that. Yeah.
I agree with that for sure. Absolutely. That and cinnamon for me, it's just like a cinnamon bomb. Just awesome.
Man, my palate must be off because I'm getting a mix of a Heath bar and a Butterfinger bar on the finish.
I can totally absolutely see that.
And it's just like and that chocolate too, that milk chocolate that mixes in with the bars, it's just lingering for days, and it's fantastic.
I think I posted this on one of you guys' posting of your review. It is a filet mignon with a nice peppercorn crust, but not just black peppercorn, a mingling of white, red, black peppercorn crusted on a nice filet mignon, cooked medium. You have your toffee, whatever base or candy bar crunch for the dessert, and just to refresh your boom, half a stick of Big Red gum, you're done.
He just stepped into Danielle's corner.
It's a full meal
right there.
And I mean, that's just me.
You took the cake. I'm not coming back from that.
It's an elite corner. Like most of Kevin and I are not ever going to be in that corner. Like, it's just we bought our tickets. We get denied entry every time.
Yeah, Danielle, he's trying to take your corner away. You got to defend your corner.
No, I'm not defending your. No.
What you got, Danielle? What you got?
Let's go, Danielle. Come on.
Danielle.
Tasting fights. Let's go.
Here? Defend your throne here.
Fight.
Oxy goes on. Let's go.
I went totally different. So I went fall on the standard rye, but I went super Christmas on the barrel strength. So gingerbread cookies, like real ginger, right? Gingerbread cookies and fruitcake. Which I know people hate on fruitcake, but if you make fruitcake, it's good. Not like any of that shit. Throw down 12 times. And you're like, nothing's happening to this fruit. No, not that.
hey, Freddie, how you gonna kick me out of the corner so fast, man? You just called me out and threw me out there like
you aren't smart enough. We have the pilots, and you and I both know this. We've been over this. You and I are just like, it's good or it's not. And then Danielle's sitting over there like a mad scientist pulling all these things out.
Kevin, you ain't getting there, man. You ain't
There
there.
we go there. There we go there.
Tell me I'm not wrong, Kevin.
Yeah, I know you're totally not wrong. You know, I will say this, guys. You know, we can look back at, you know, past reviews and things of that nature, and there's very few people that we agree on totally, and it's just the flight what we've had. And now, granted, the 4 bottles is fantastic. I'm still sitting here looking at it in awe of what y'all sent us, but
Yeah.
you know, our group as a consensus, and especially if Mr. Pinstripe speaks up about the rye and says it's phenomenal. Look, I'm telling you, it's a compliment. And
That's
Danielle makes everything sound like a unicorn in a bottle, and I love her palate. I wish I could be there. I wish I could grow up to be her. Candace, what do you think? Because you hadn't spoke up. Because this one's good.
I like this one better than the straight.
That's good.
I like it a lot more.
Looks like we have another convert to the rye side.
As Mikey, it goes like this.
Yeah, but I really like this one. This one, to me, I have fruit on the nose, but the flavor is nothing but just like butter, melted butter. That's the only way I know how to describe it.
Irish butter.
Love it.
Normandy butter.
Irish butter.
Butter.
Hey guys, just a heads up though, I am gonna buzz off. Like I said, your stuff is so good. I put myself at a hard limit at 9:30 tonight, but I'm having such a great time with you guys. You guys are just insanely generous to send us all like 4 bottles. Like when I saw the shipment, like 15 pounds. Did they send me like a cat? It's like been over thing. But like it's like just like a puppy coming or something. But it was better than a puppy. It was phenomenal.
We were going to send you a barrel. We were just going to send you a barrel.
Yeah, that's right. But guys, thank you so much. Like I said, I've got to be up like crazy early. I got a 2-week-old upstairs. So I'm going to try and get some sleep here, guys. But seriously, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I can't wait to share this with everybody, man. I'll definitely be posting about it, especially about the rise and stuff. And thank you guys so much. It's been an absolute pleasure tonight getting to know you guys.
Pleasure for having us.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you, guys. I'm going to actually keep you guys on in the background here, so I'm just killing my video, but I will still listen. Good night, guys.
Cheers, Freddie.
Hey, so who's blended all 4 bottles?
Oh, Lord,
here
we go.
Okay. Calm down.
Come on. It's a 4-bottle, 4-grain. Let's go.
Calm down.
This blend is unreal, guys. It is unreal. I mean, you're looking at like a 96, 97 proof, you know.
Gotta do the math.
Like,
Always gotta do the
majority.
I'm ballparking it. I'm ballparking it, but like, you know,
It's
it's
the majority barrel strength rye on it.
it's some delicious stuff, man. Seriously.
Hey,
Going
Daniel,
back
listen,
to
Patrick.
the
I
combo
know
is
that we're
Minglewood.
You know,
Hey,
that
guys,
the beauty of the 4-grain is again, it lies in, as Damian mentioned earlier, and Patrick and Travis, who is his assistant at the distillery, it's just a matter of taking experiment. I mean, mind you, it started as an experimental whiskey, and then they got blended together to create what we're enjoying tonight. You know, and hopefully from here on out.
I think you might have slightly missed what Joe said. He meant he's blending all 4 of these fucking bottles.
Oh, he's blending. Oh,
Yeah, all of them.
That's like his thing. Yeah.
Just did it.
Every live we do, just got to do
He
it.
takes all the samples and blends them all together.
It's a demolition derby mashup.
All 4 bottles are in this glass, and it's
That's
phenomenal.
a solid blend.
dude, I love it. Joe, how much of wheat each? Was it equal parts or?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm estimating after 4 drams, so yeah.
Okay.
He's estimating, works out the math, so let's assume that it's pretty precise there.
I mean, yeah.
He knows it down to the exact proof. So,
I know.
It's like 97, 98, something like that. I mean, you know, whatever.
He pulled his drunkometer up, and it's about 97.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate. You know, 60% of the time, it works every time.
I want to see Joe wearing one of those like tax guy little green hats with a giant calculator over here.
From now on, when he puts that on, we know it's blending time.
It's not a tax guy; it's a bookie.
Joe,
I wait until we've gone through every expression, and then I blend. I'm at least fair.
But that's your thing. It's perfect. You got to get for sure. He's like, okay, it's Joe's corner. Put the hat on. I go.
Hey, it's Minglewood, man. It's Minglewood. Let's go.
You know what? 102.3. You know what?
Hey, we all have to have a corner This is Joe's.
Yeah, I love it.
I'll take it.
I love it, Joe. It's
Good
good.
one.
What
Great
really
one.
comes to mind is, because this is a distiller series, I'm really curious, and I have not asked Patrick and or Damian this to them directly, so I'm going to do it tonight. What's the next distiller series?
The next distiller series is in Wilson. This is to be determined still. We're still, Patrick and I and Travis have been still going through some of the barrels that we have back in the warehouse that we think, we're hoping they're ready, but we got to go back to them. We got to proof them down. We got to figure out what proofs they're going to be at. Right now, we're still kind of going through that right now. I wish we had a solid answer, a concrete answer, but I don't know. I guess be on the lookout here soon.
Yeah, we don't want to break any promises.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm not looking for you today. I just, you guys, of course, I may sound biased in this sense, but from the start that I've been working with the Garcias alongside them, the expressions that we all experienced tonight have been so individually stellar in a sense. And again, this all depends on palates and whatnot. But the Rolling Standard, I remember when I first had it, I'm just like, okay, this is bullshit. What's going on here? Who's the magic wand or whatnot, or is just a separate whiskey that just but to know that this is a blend, I mean, is it something that we can expect, like a continuation of the distiller series? Will it always be a blend?
We probably will do. I think our next release will be probably a finished something.
Nice.
That's what we're looking at right now.
You heard it here first, guys.
So that's kind of what we're at right now. The other thing too is get ready for. I mean, next year is going to be a whole. We're going to be celebrating a little bit more next year because, even though 10 years from when we established the company is this year, we're considering our 10 year of when we started distilling our first whiskey. And
so when that first drop happened, that's pretty awesome.
So that's coming next year. So that's our 10 year really will be next year, 2021. So, and I hope it's going to be a better year that we can all celebrate and, do a lot more than what we're doing today. So,
yeah, we have two of our first two bourbon barrels that we'll be bringing out next year for our 10 year. Those will be 10 years old next year. And we'll also have a 10-year-old rye also coming out.
That's what I'm talking about.
You say that one more time?
10 years old.
Yeah. Hey.
It's 10-year rye.
And we're getting the exclusive invite for that to try that one out, right?
I'm going to need somebody to make a trip up there and get it for me.
Oh, you got that right.
Will geographically, you're closest.
Stop making me drive
Unless
that
that state is going to be Louisiana.
Will's the mule.
That's my thing. Everybody else has a cool corner. I'm a
and
mule.
Joe can fight that out there.
Will, you can have it.
Everybody else has their cool corner, and I'm just the driver.
the mules.
Hey,
The
we
mule
all
stable.
serve a role, Will. Get on board.
He's the Uber driver.
Just feed me the sour mash and tell me to shut up. All right.
That's right.
Pick me up some rye balls if there's any available.
Damian, Patrick, listen, I just want to say, one of the reasons, like, I think this whole group kind of, and guys, I'm sorry if I'm speaking for you, but anyway, one of the reasons this whole group came together, so we were all diverse in our backgrounds, and a lot of us love ryes, and I got into ryes, and a lot of us love bourbons and things like that, and I can literally name off who likes what stuff. This is the reason, that we came together, is because this is different than anything on the market, and this is a compliment to you guys. It's so not many people can just walk in a store and say, all right, I'm gonna look for those unicorns or whatever. But for us, these right here, it's like, I'm gonna drink this. I'm gonna let that unicorn sit on the shelf, and I'm gonna drink this because this is fantastic stuff. You guys are really doing a fantastic job. Cheers to you, and cheers to your entire staff, Wilson, everybody. Because I'm telling you, everybody, I'm gonna share these. I've got a couple of people I'm gonna send in the mail and things like that. because this is beautiful products, man. I'm so happy we got to try these, and for your generosity, and thank you so much.
And cheers to all. Cheers to all of you guys too. Thank you so much.
We really appreciate all this
for having us on today, or for having us on tonight. And you know, we really really appreciate it. And cheers to the whole Bourbon Alliance. We appreciate it. So thank you so much. For all
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, we got to do this again. We got to do this again.
Yeah, we need to do this again for sure. You know, and hopefully
this fall.
Yeah, this fall. Hopefully we've got something cooking, and we got something in the works. Hopefully, so
we'll do a taste test with you guys.
Yeah.
We would love Can you guys share real quick on the video, your website? You know, Wilson. You know, share any Instagram things you want to talk about. You know, just so we can, because this is beautiful products, man. I want everybody to know about it. I really do.
So you can find. So our website is unionhorse.com, but you could also find us on you know, our Instagram at Union Horse Distilling Co. You also, our Facebook page is obviously Union Horse Distilling Company on our Facebook page. But yeah, go on there, follow us. We're trying to, you know, we constantly are updating it with, you know, good content and stories as much as we possibly can. And, you know, we appreciate everything, guys. So
we do after, like, we get done with the videos and things like that, and Dave edits them. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate it. We'll run a feature for you guys, just so you know, man. We're on the Bourbon Alliance page. We're gonna run a feature for you guys, and I really appreciate it, man. I really do.
Thank you.
We appreciate this.
We appreciate it all.
These are some sexy horses. We'll keep posting them. Don't you worry.
All right.
Speaking of that, can you
We may
tell
just
us
have a
about
horse
the
in
horse?
Kentucky soon. Who's to say? I'm just saying.
Candace, you
I'm
need.
interested in the horse background. Like, what
Okay,
made
there you
come
go.
up with the
Yeah,
name
so-
horse?
To answer your question about the horses, so we actually we started our distillery, and before it was called Union Horse Distilling Company, we were called Dark Horse Distillery. So you know, the horse theme kind of came to us from, you know, one of our founders in the company had a horse farm, and you know, we kind of had that as, you know, kind of a symbol, you know, especially when we were called Dark Horse, because, you know, we were at that particular point in time back in 2008, 2009, you know, there were probably, you know, around 300 to 400 craft distilleries that were you know, that were doing business at that point in time. And Dark underdog that come from behind, you know, that candidate that basically, you know, was the, you know, when we were going out to bars and restaurants, retailers, people were telling us, hey, you guys have a long road ahead of you, you know, especially with all the big brands that were out there. So Dark Horse kind of called to us. So the horses that are on the bottle that you see, like as far as Reunion Rye, that horse that's on that particular bottle is one of our horses. His name is Steel. The horse that's on our bourbon bottle, his name is Chrome. So those are actual horses that we own.
And they're very nice.
That's really cool.
Horses, yeah. They're big draft horses, so they're kind of as big as a Clydesdale.
I figured they were.
Yeah.
I could tell by the head.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're a horse person.
Yeah.
Oh yes, she is.
Check her account out sometime.
And is the train on the rolling standard the actual train that comes by your place? Because I live right next to the railroad tracks, and they're shaking up my bourbon bottles constantly.
No, actually, it's not. It's not. It is a train that it kind of you know, our artists that did our bottles, you know, with the horses and then also the train. You know, he did pull that up from a old, you know, stock photo that we had from Union Station. It's a big station down in, you know, the heart of Kansas City that, you know, started back in the early 1900s, and that's one of the trains that kind of came across, you know, pulling freight. You know.
Awesome.
In fact, when we launched Rolling Standard here in Chicago, we actually, well, I was able. It was just coincidence. The Fort Wayne, Indiana I want to say Train Society and whatnot, was making a run on an old steamer from Fort Wayne, Indiana into Chicago. So it kind of fell along the lines of the launch of the relaunch, I should say, of the Rolling Standard here in Chicago. So we, in a sense, sponsored that steam train into Chicago, and on it, the association, we donated, well, Damian and Patrick donated a case of the first case to arrive into Chicago that was going to be used on the platform in cocktails or in single pours and whatnot. It was so cool. I've never seen a locomotive of that caliber up close and it was just like, holy crap, this is real steam. Everyone right now, I mean, all the other lines that come through Chicago is diesel and whatnot and electric. But it was so cool that was the first, call it marketing tool that we tried to use here in Chicago for Rolling Standard. I've got pictures I'll share. I'll send those to you your way. We had actors that were in 1940s garb from, World War II coming home from the war. We had cigarette, and
I need to see all of this.
Oh my God, dude, it was phenomenal. The Garcias, with their donation to it in regards to product and just presence, was just, it made it so amazing. It was so cool. I'll send those pictures to you guys.
You should repost it on your Instagram.
Yeah, please do.
Actually, I have on Veterans Day
and
on D-Day I did, and
all right.
I will. I'll send you guys so you guys can use those at your leisure.
Yeah, Wilson, I'll post those on the Bourbon Lines page. I got one last question for you guys, and I'll shut up because I know I talk a lot. But is there anything new that y'all got coming out that maybe you want to announce or anything, and just kind of give us a forefront of what you're going into?
Well, we're actually hoping to get something, like we were saying earlier. We were hoping to get something out possibly this fall. We're going through basically the testing phase of it. Like we said before, like the whiskey is so hard to be able to pinpoint of saying, hey, it's ready to go, and we're hoping that this fall we can come out right before the holidays, I would say, that we can come out with something that's
And what amounts do we have of it?
And what amounts do we have of it?
What are we looking at here?
So that's kind of what we're doing. We're working on that right now. We don't have anything concrete though that we can announce, but you will be the first. We will.
We've got a bunch of irons in the fire right now.
Yeah.
So we have a handful of new things you guys are going to be seeing. And we're not going to disappoint you. That's for sure. I think you guys will be very excited when we do. You guys will be one of the first to know.
Yeah,
you have not disappointed.
Yeah, seriously, y'all's products are definitely showing up on our palates, and we definitely appreciate this.
Thank you.
It's all really good juice. I can't say anything bad about anything. And
so
it's very rare that I'd say that about a full lineup.
Thank you.
We really appreciate that. It helps us to keep it going every day. We need this feedback for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys are doing it right, and you're doing a great job. Using great grain, taking the time to do it right. You're not cutting corners. I mean, it shows in your product. So kudos to you guys.
Thank you very much.
Well, we appreciate everyone. Thank you so much, and cheers to everyone.
Stay safe out there.
Stay safe out there, and we'll be let us know and we'll be reaching out to you very soon. Cheers to everyone.
If you guys have any more questions, just don't hesitate to hit us up, and we'll answer any follow-ups or anything like that. And we'd love to make sure you guys have enough knowledge.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you, guys. Cheers. You have a good night.
Thank you, everybody.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
We'll see you.